to echo what Isaac Asimov said. Science fiction, simply defined, is humanity's reaction to technology. Clearly, writers learn from scientists. Now, can scientists learn from writers? In Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, there's a tricorder, little Star Trek phones, and
Enterprise. Scott here, sir. We're beaming up. Notify transporter room.
we even discovered that Motorola in the 1980s, when they were trying to develop a cell phone, was inspired by at least the look and feel of those little, Mr. Spock sort of things on, Star Trek. So there is some inspiration where the science fiction writers are influencing the scientists. So I thought, hey, why not, as an entrepreneur, try to elevate our common knowledge of science fiction and address some of those interesting issues. Like ethics and morality is going to be a big issue. Investment in government, different technological choices might be an issue. And as an entrepreneur or an investor, they need to bend their imagination. You've got to be innovative and first. And I think science fiction might help you to be innovative.
I'm a big sci-fi fan. Growing up, when I remember watching Blade Runner and Harrison Ford commanding and controlling this machine where he analyzes the pictures. I thought, wouldn't it be cool at some point in time to talk to a machine and have it perform what you want to do? And in the early 2000s, I was involved in developing what eventually became Siri, the precursor to that. And lo and behold, now it feels like it's happened. I think there are technology aspects or imagined advances that are potentially interesting as guideposts or goals for people in the industry.
The question you've got to ask, and it's a tough question, what is intelligence? I've come to the conclusion that what true AI is, in fact, is the development of self-learning machines.
So in my view, AI is moving from where you apply a self-learning system to solving a very specific problem to beginning to learn. So for example, if you're a baby and you're trying to lift a pen and you've learned how to do that, and now your mom is saying, hey, Antoine, just lift the smartphone, the first time around you're going to drop it because it's heavier, but the second time around you're going to grab it and adjust your muscle strengths, and lo and behold, you are going to succeed. That's how smart we are. If you ask a robot, like a robotic arm, to do that, it's learned how to lift a pencil or a pen, but now you ask it to lift a smartphone, it's going to take it 100,000 times to learn it. But you're seeing now the advent of novel types of algorithms that are around reinforcing the learning, they're called reinforced learning approaches. And as a result, instead of taking 100,000 times, you take 100 times. And when you take 100 times, then maybe it's the right time to begin to actually have it learn automatically. Then you begin to approximate the transversality of learning that the humans have, and that's, I think, fascinating. We, as part of our curriculum, as part of our all societal discourse, will have to think about how do we make people comfortable with this notion of an ever-changing world. So that's what I love science fiction movies. What I always find interesting is the discourse around societal impact and how folks imagine the types of problems that we're going to encounter in the future because the world is advanced. Obviously, people like to paint a dystopian future because this is what sells, right? But realistically, in order not to become that, we'll have to address some of these issues that these folks portray. I'm a big believer in the potential of machine learning and AI to solve our problems. By AI machine learning, we'll have that ability to make our societies hyper-productive, hyper-healthy. And I think the whole discourse about, oh, will AI destroy us? Yeah, maybe, but before technology destroys us, it will save us.
Science fiction has shown me what the world could be, but that, I think, wasn't enough for me. I wondered, can I actually make this real?
I've dedicated my work to making our species truly spacefaring, and I do this by harnessing some of the super abilities of microbes that have evolved to withstand some of the most hostile conditions here on Earth. CRISPR is a bacterial system scientists have essentially been able to use to edit any DNA of their choice.
Being able to create a human that won't die is something that drives scientists. Humans as a species would not be able to achieve their space travel dreams unless they change their opinion of what being a human means.
If he lost his leg and we give him a prosthetic one, is he still human? What if I took a bacterial cell from this man's intestines, engineered it to produce insulin to fight his diabetes for him? Will he still be human? Now finally, what if I use this bacterial cell to produce antifreeze protein so that he better survives the cold?
If we can inspire the world to actually work together, then maybe we can actually make space travel possible. Like, there is, to me, a lack of hands and financial investment in moving our species into space. The world isn't ready. It will be a really long time before we can get enough people on board with even able to understand scientific principles. If this trend continues, I don't see any of these dreams ever coming to fruition. I hope that with science fiction, you can motivate people to actually dream bigger. And so you get a larger workforce of people who actually want to help improve our species. And then, when that day comes, we will more likely be able to achieve a lot of those goals.